On Tuesday, the Security Council adopted a resolution that significantly increases the number of UN troops and police in South Sudan. They are tasked largely with protecting civilians from the fighting that has spread across much of the country. Clashes began last week in the capital, Juba, after President Salva Kiir, a member of the Dinka ethnic group, accused former Vice President Riek Machar, a Nuer, of attempting a coup. More than 30,000 South Sudanese have sought refuge at UN compounds to escape the fighting. The head of the UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan, Hilda Johnson, said Tuesday the previous death toll estimate of 500 will rise.
The scale of the crisis is unprecedented for us as a United Nations in South Sudan. This means that our military resources are now, with the exception of the patrols in Juba, are fully engulfed and occupied with the protection of our bases. And even that is not adequate everywhere, which is why we need to reinforce them.
Johnson called for dialogue to end the crisis.
We encourage both sides now to be willing to come forward to the negotiating table with immediate effect, that the IGAD countries provide the basis for the talks, and that we, in this situation, urge both sides to stop the violence.
On Tuesday, a group of Kenyan evacuees flew from Juba to Nairobi. This woman, part of the group, described the situation in South Sudan as harrowing.
What exactly is happening? Don't ask. It's bad. It's just traumatizing. The more you talk about it, there's gunfire, bullets, every bombing, all the worst things you can imagine. It's like terrorists have just ransacked the town. It's bad, really.
In addition to authorizing more troops, the UN Security Council on Tuesday condemned the violence against civilians and ethnic communities and reported human rights violations by all parties. The U.S. also has appealed for an end to the violence. Mike Richman, VOA News, Washington.